Welcome back. So, after a mass influx of 70,000 to 80,000 migrants from Morocco in late July overwhelmed the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, home to about 85,000 people, thousands remain camped on beaches and streets, sparking repeated local protests for swift deportations and stronger security. On Wednesday night, last night, crowds stormed the beach, dismantling shelters and clashing with migrants until police fired rubber bullets to separate them. Okay, so the police are protecting the invaders. A local woman sharply criticized Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, saying Ceuta's people won't yield even sports spaces to immigrants while their children miss vacations and borders stay thinly guarded. So that's what we're going to be opening with, guys. So here's a very, very nice, entertaining video of the people of Ceuta rejoicing that illegal migrants invaded their homes, and literally we heard that cases of enrichment spiked over the last few weeks. So let's have a listen to this. It's mostly going to be in Spanish, okay? But I'm sure you can feel the happiness and joy coming through the screens, that they love the fact that their country is being invaded by military-aged male migrants.
Evidentemente.
Oh no, he's happy.
Really thrilled.
Huh?
And I don't know a whole lot of Spanish, but I definitely know some of those curse words I was hearing.
Yeah, like the P word, Yeah, like we have to be very careful. I posted a screenshot of a comment someone posted on YouTube. They said to me that they tried searching for Crossroads Live on YouTube, and the channel didn't even show up. So like we're not just.
I had to find it. You know how I had to find it? I had to go to Chris's page because he had already liked and followed you.
Yeah.
I had to go to his page to find your page through his.
Like this, is there a level lower than being a shadow banned? It's like we're in the deepest dungeon. Lynn says I have to go to my main page.
Yeah.
Well, look, maybe we should just change the channel name to Shadow Band. let's just get on with it. Yeah.
Shadow
so this
Band Crossroads.
Yeah, the dark side. Come over to the dark side.
We have cookies.
Yeah, so this woman is the picture of mainstream media. This reporter.
Yeah.
La 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 la. Can't hear anything. We don't know what you're talking about. Look, the migrants are so peaceful.
Because, it's really loud. Like they are pretty much screaming in her ear. I mean, I can't necessarily say I wouldn't kind of cover my ears if somebody's screaming at them.
No, it's tongue in cheek. It's tongue in cheek. I'm just messing with her.
But she probably is trying to talk about, these poor immigrants, these poor migrants, these poor people that came over. We need to support them.
She's being very, very compassionate. So this is the video. It's in Spanish, but we'll just play it. And essentially,
nos decís que, por ejemplo, vamos.
Oh man, does anybody in the chat speak Spanish? So I'll just read the caption.
Spanish.
Oh well, that's useful. So I'll just play the video. So this was translated from Spanish. So I'm going to read the caption. The sheer barrage of blows that this Ceuta native has just dealt Sanchez is historical. She said the people of Ceuta will not yield even one sports facility to immigrants. I'll talk about this because this is something that people like Asmund Gold, and I have mentioned it before on my streams and content, that eventually people are going to be fed up with the incompetence of their governments, and they're going to start doing things like this. And then the mainstream media will say, oh no, this is overkill. It's going too far. It's like what Trump just did. We're going to get to that, okay? Because because it is like the overcorrection that is required in order
bring it back to the middle ground.
Yes.
Because if you go so far left, you're going to have to make a hard right to wind up back at the middle.
Yeah, and it's going to cause a lot of chaos while you're doing it, but it's necessary. You can't have 4 years of over 10 million illegal aliens breaking into your country, aided and abetted by the Democrats, and then you're like, okay, we need to fix this. And then everyone thinks that you're going to slow walk it for another 15 years.
No.
It's not happening. Okay, so the people of Ceuta will not yield even one sports facility to immigrants. Our children without vacations, and him going 27 days on vacation. Our borders with 4 agents, and him toasting at La Mareta. You have to be utterly shameless.
Yeah.
That's the EU for you. And that's basically the gist of what she said. We don't understand Spanish, but she doesn't seem to be very happy with the prime minister.
And she has every right to not be. Absolutely. Every freaking right. Just like we have every right, to be mad about the way the immigration system is happening here in the United States. We have every freaking right to go, no, you need to stop letting people in. Because... I mean, it kind of leads into what, the videos I sent and stuff like that. But you need to stop letting everybody in so you can fix what you've got. Because at this point in time, systems are so overloaded. Everything's overcrowded. You've got so many undocumented, the polite way they say it, but, illegals in the countries and everything like that are trashing things, putting drains on all of the systems, healthcare, schooling, social services and stuff like that. You're draining everything.
Yeah.
And you can't fix it by trickling it down. No, you're going to trickle it down and it's going to be irreparable by the time you trickle down to where a normal level would be. So you've got to stop it so you can actually fix things, vet all the people that are already here, and then, get rid of the ones that don't need to be here. Work on keeping the ones that do need to be here, and then, now we can start looking at letting more people back in.
Yeah. So this is these are the beaches.
It's disgusting.
These are the beaches of Ceuta. Okay. And we're going to take a look at this for a bit. And then we're going to see what the Spanish locals at Ceuta went out to do last night. Because if the government to whom you pay taxes to don't do their job, then the citizens,
the people have to do it themselves.
People have to do it, and then you have the police. You have the police shooting rubber bullets at citizens to stop them from doing this. Okay, so they're ripping down the temporary shelters that were erected by the invaders.
Exactly, and see, that's what all of this leads to. It leads to that pressure cooker situation.
Yeah.
You've put all of the citizens and everything like that in this pressure cooker, and you're telling them, oh, don't get mad. Well, they're eventually going to get mad, and that lid's going to blow.
Yeah.
And that's what leads to, incidences like this or, full-blown civil wars.
Yeah. So this is Ceuta. So if anyone didn't have the background of what's been going on over the last 3 weeks, it's been about 3 weeks or maybe a month now since this incident took place. We covered it the day after it happened, and we've been covering it. It's like every week we have an update, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse.
Yeah.
And now the people of Ceuta who have been, look, they've been very patient. They've expressed their concerns. They've expressed their frustrations. They've been very chill about it. People breaking into their homes overnight, trying to break into their stores and stealing from them. They've been very patient. And then now they've had enough, and they're like, okay, it's time for us to really, really, in fact, they're going to take the law into their own hands. And this is a rally. Now, originally, there were 85,000 locals at Ceuta. 70 to 80,000 illegal migrants broke into their little enclave within just 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the government claims that they fixed it. They sent all the migrants home. Meanwhile, the locals are like, what are you talking about? They're still here. And the police is saying that enrichment cases have essentially skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So
and that's ridiculous.
It's an insane thing for a quiet, idyllic town to experience, and then you expect them to just relax and be calm about it. There's a footage here where last night they had okay, well, this is another video. It's just 24 seconds of people storming the beaches. There's one where local men were rounding up the migrants themselves.
Right?
Yeah, so
that's the same thing like they could do here in the United States, man. Well, put some good old boys out there. I promise you get them good old boys, whether they're, whatever state they're from, but the good old, patriotic, people, and they're going to handle business. They're not going to worry about, offending somebody or hurting somebody's feelings. They're going to get business handled.
Yeah, at this
especially
rate,
when it comes to protecting their own.
Yeah, at this rate, I think it's getting there. I think it's getting there. So did I pick up this bookmark? I got some bookmarks, but I didn't. Okay, yeah, I think I bookmarked it. Sorry, I just need to. We'll just take a look at this, and then okay, yeah, there it is. Patriots with clubs hunt down North African Muslim invaders. So the young men of Ceuta are now taking matters into their own hands while the police looks on. Yeah. We had those crazy videos of the migrants breaking in and the army just standing by, watching. Yeah. And they literally told them they couldn't do anything. They were told to do nothing.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's kind of the crappy part about being employed by a government or something like that. If they're telling you you can't do anything, I can't necessarily fault those people for not doing anything, because that is their livelihoods. That's their whole careers. That's how they support their families. And so they're kind of put in this like catch-22 situation. Do they do what they feel is right and, stop the issue, or do they sacrifice, their entire family's livelihoods and, to do that, or do they stand by, hate what they're doing, and still be able to support their families?
Oh no, like I don't blame the law enforcement officers or the soldiers. It's like January 6th. I have never blamed the policemen or the officers who did whatever they were told to do.
Intentionally cutting things and blaming, them. I totally blame them. They're POSs.
Yeah, and then there's a few of them that retired and made it their life's mission to paint the J6 protesters as insurrectionists. Okay, those ones too are just, they don't deserve any commendation. But if you've been told to, if you work for the government, you're ordered to do something. I get it. I understand. But usually the buck stops with the people in government. Why did you make this decision? Why did you make these calls? Why did you prevent the law from being enforced? Why did you block the Constitution from taking effect? And you claim that the other side that is following the rules, following the Constitution, are the danger to the country. Like, why is that? And then you show them your displeasure at the polls. You vote them out. It's really that simple. So this is Spain. Now, President Trump is going to be doing some signings, and we're going to dip into that live stream from the White House. But you sent me a couple of links, and we're going to look at those stories. The U.S. pauses immigration visa appointments worldwide. A few people have seen that report, and they're complaining. They're complaining. They're like, why is Trump being so mean? Why is he being so mean? And the question I'll have to ask is, where haven't you been paying attention for the last 5 years? And didn't you see what the Biden administration did with the border for 5 years?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I 100% support pausing all immigration into the United States, because it is broken right now. Especially, working in EMS, I see it up front, up close and personal, because, I have to transport. You see those ones where they've got no documentation. They don't speak a lick of English. They've got no documentation. So you're sitting there, like, for me, I'm sitting there trying to do a patient care report, and I was like, cool, I don't even know what your actual name is. I don't know what your immunization status is. So I'm sitting here dealing with, like, tuberculosis and, all of these other things that we don't typically deal with in the United States. So I'm sitting there, like, full masked up and everything. So, vent system all activated and everything like that. And it's putting a strain on healthcare, because guess what? That ambulance bill is not going to get paid. That hospital bill is not going to get paid. Those resources aren't going to get replenished because we're not getting paid for any of them. And it's putting a strain. And now this rig, this ambulance or this ER room is now occupied by somebody that's not going to pay a dang dime, and that there's no way for us to actually collect money for it. And that's just a complete wash. And when you have, millions of them, you're destroying the safety net. The indigent funds is what they're called. You're destroying those for, our people here, like our regular homeless people, our, veterans that are homeless, or, our, lower class people that can't afford insurances and things like that. You're taking away all of their indigent funds. All of their funds that we would use to pay for them are now being used to pay for all of the illegal immigrants and migrants and stuff like that, because they're not being dealt with properly. And that's stuff that I see personally.
But you're mean for pointing it out.
I am. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mistreat those people. I treat them properly. I give them all of the proper care that they desire, that they deserve, and everything like that. I'm respectful, but it pisses me off, because I was like, this is, I had to come respond to this illegal immigrant that has no documentation, no nothing or anything like that, because they won't go get any preemptive care. They haven't had any preemptive care or vaccines or anything like that. So they're bringing in, all of these illnesses that the United States doesn't really deal with. And, now we're dealing with this, and I couldn't go respond to that shortness of breath, chest pains over there for a regular U.S. citizen that has paid their dues. I can't save that person because I'm stuck over here dealing with somebody that shouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off.
Yeah. It's just common sense, a common sense approach to handling these things, but it's like
common sense isn't common.
It's not.
It's a freaking superpower these days.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm shocked. For the first time since I have been following Trump's live streams, this one is early.
Yeah.
It's early, and it started. It was meant to be in 8 minutes. So let's listen in.
Congratulate Darlene Graham on her tremendous victory.
And feel free to chime in at any point, okay? It's a watch party. Guys, if you're chatting, let's know your thoughts on Trump's statements.
And the South Carolina people are not going to stand for that. I know South Carolina very well. I won it every time by record numbers, have the all-time record by millions of votes. But I just want to congratulate Darlene for having run really a great race, and she's going to be a great senator, and the people love her. There's something about her that's very special. She's got a little Lindsay in there somewhere, got good genetics. So Lindsay is looking down very, very happy and very proud of her sister. So congratulations, Darlene. And finally, I guess the purpose of this more than anything else is we're going to be changing the name of Lake Ontario, effective immediately to Lake
That's
America.
why I'm laughing.
That's going to take place right now as I sign the order.
Like the Gulf of America.
Yes, sir. So this is a straightforward but important executive order. It directs Secretary Burgum and the Department of the Interior to update the geographic names information service to reflect that what was known as Lake Ontario will, from this day forward, be known as Lake America. This is a lake that has most of its volume in the United States, the deepest parts of the United States.
I always love it because they want to get so mad at things like that, and you're like, but like legitimately, it's primarily ours. Okay. So like, why can't we change the name of it? Like the Gulf of America, primarily it's majority ours. So why does it have to be the Gulf of Mexico? Screw Mexico. Like that's ours. That's our Gulf. Like we can name it what we want. Just because that's what it has been named before doesn't mean that's what it has to stay. So, I mean, I can understand that, and I also understand that it is slightly kind of like a little petty jab.
Yes, it is.
Like, you know what? Like, oh, you want to play games? Okay, well, I can play games because most of this is mine. Watch, I'm going to change the name. And so, like, I honestly, I can kind of appreciate and laugh at the fact that that's his little, like, petty jabs at them.
Yeah. So let's hear the press.
Crossing out Lake Ontario and writing Lake America. It's been seen by about 30 million people, maybe more, across all the social media platforms. What message are you sending to Canada with this move today, and why was it such an important thing for you to do?
It's an interesting question. No message. As you know, Canada's been ripping us off for a long time on trade, very sadly.
Facts.
Even the military. You know, we defend Canada for nothing. We don't get anything. They don't pay us to defend Canada, but we defend Canada. And they understand that. As an example, we bought icebreakers. They'd like to use them. We have 11 brand new icebreakers coming in. They'd like to use the icebreakers. They don't pay for anything. And they want to be treated like a state, but they're not a state. But they want to be treated like they're a state. And
I mean,
so
it's not wrong because, I mean,
we lose on average
we kind of have an obligation to protect, you know, rename Earth to Trumpland. You know what? Let's do it. Let's go for that. No, we can just name, you know, it's just Murica. It's just Murica. It's all going to be Murica. But I mean, like, we kind of have an obligation to protect Canada because they are directly connected to us. It's also kind of why we have the obligation to monitor Mexico and things like that because they're directly connected to us.
Yeah.
We kind of have an obligation, and for our own self-preservation, it's in our best interest to preserve and protect those locations.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like that, you know how you've got that like golden child, little sibling or whatever that gets handed everything, and so then they you know, just feel entitled to it all. And when you look at them and go, no, then they flip out. That's kind of what I see it as is happening right now. Is, you know, Canada's been able to get everything for free. We've been giving them, you know, military support, helping out protect them and do all of these things. And they've been getting it all for free while charging us astronomical rates for everything. And now we're finally going, yeah, you know what? That's not fair. We're going to still protect you, but it's going to cost you now.
Yeah.
Doing things like this towards America's allies instead of doing things that target adversaries.
Well. The Canadian officials have treated us very badly. They're nasty people. They charge our farmers 400% tariffs. They've been doing it for a long time. And I had them figured out in my first term, and I did some pretty strong things and had it getting pretty good. And then the election was rigged, and now I'm coming back and doing it the way it, and finishing the job. But they treat us very badly. Canada treats us very badly. I would say that of all countries, as you know, we have President Xi coming in a couple of weeks. We deal with a lot of people. People oftentimes, they'll ask me, who's the worst to deal with on trade? And I said, that's easy, Canada. They are the worst to trade, and they feel entitled, and just we can't have that.
Mr. President, the entitlement of it.
Cruz keeps teasing the 2020 presidential run. You run against him for president. Do you think he could be president? What's your reaction to that?
You say he's going to run? Or?
He's teasing in he's talking about it.
You don't mean 2020, but you mean
2028.
Yeah. I would say that he's very talented. He's a very good friend of mine. I think he might do that, yeah.
Mr. President,
He's a talented guy.
Mr. President, what's your reaction for?
What would you say to those who are concerned a trade dispute with Canada could affect American affordability ahead of midterms?
Well, ultimately, it's going to be very good for us because we're losing. When you talk about affordability,
that's where it comes into that instant gratification that people have gotten so used to nowadays.
Yeah.
You again, like we were talking about yesterday, with like the new generations and stuff. No, it's time to put your nose to the grind.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to get what you ultimately want and need.
Yeah.
You've got to deal with some uncomfortability, it's going to be harder. There's going to be higher costs on certain things until stuff settles out. Anybody with a fully functioning brain understands this.
Yeah.
It's like when you start a business, okay? You don't start a business and instantly start making profits, okay?
No.
You're eating ramen and sleeping on somebody's couch, all right?
Yeah.
It's hard. But if you put in the grind, you put in the work, it comes out and benefits you in the end.
Yes.
We don't want to lose it anymore.
Mr. President, has Vladimir Putin agreed or committed to not attacking a NATO territory?
I've had good talks with him. He's not going to be attacking a NATO territory.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to the latest on the...
Supreme Court earlier this week ruled on mail-in ballots, and there are states like North Carolina that have ballots that go out next week. How are states supposed to implement this?
Well, they're able to. North Carolina is great. It's a great place. I won it all 3 times. They do some mail-in ballots, but basically they ruled on the legitimacy and the way we want to make them legitimate. And it was a great ruling for the Republican
Why do you keep voting by mail, sir? You say it's a concern.
Deliver a warning to Russia not to attack NATO territory during his...
Well, I don't want to comment on that, but they're not going to attack.
Mr. President, what's your reaction to the Americans missing in Nepal?
Oh, it's terrible. No, and we've called Nepal and we've offered any help that they need. Have a very good relationship with Nepal, and that was that was mud and water as a mixture. Nobody's ever seen anything quite like that. We're very powerful, strong, well-built buildings were wiped out like they were toothpicks.
And see, that's the thing too. Like you said, we're not on very good terms with Nepal.
Yeah.
But still, he's like, hey, you guys need help, let us know.
Yeah. And he's the bad guy.
But yeah, he's the bad guy. It's just, oh yeah.
Sorry, but this should be like school. I hate the school. Yeah, it's like I watch it and I'm like,
it drives me insane.
Yeah, talking over each other and anyway.
They've got no respect for people. It's annoying.
No, just raise your hand and then the person points out and say, okay, he should. He does. He treats them like children because he does, especially CNN. He's like, no, not you, fake news. He does that.
Yeah.
Sending aid, and we've spoken to the leadership, and we let them know anything they want, we'll have. And there were 50, maybe 60 Americans over there. We haven't gotten the full list yet, but hopefully they're okay. But that looked pretty. That looks like something that people will not be. Somebody will be lost, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the realism of it.
Yeah. He has to call
people,
it. And
people have lost lives. There's no way that they haven't. There's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people that have lost their lives. And then, even more that have lost, everything. Like they've lost everything.
Yeah.
Vladimir Putin is meeting with the president of Iran to talk about a nuclear agreement next week. Is there concern in the administration, in the White House, that these countries aren't taking economic D-Day seriously, that they're going to continue doing business with Iran despite the warnings?
Iran is right now, they're not paying their troops. They're in deep trouble. They have very little capacity. Last night we took 24 boats through the strait. We're taking them through all the time. I say it very openly. It doesn't mean we're finished with the military, but the strait is open, as you know. The Strait of Hormuz is open. We have control and we have the blockade. Iran's not getting anything. Nothing is going through. Not one ship has gotten through.
But will you punish Putin or Russia if they continue
Well,
to do
it
business
depends.
with
So
Iran?
far, I think Russia's behaved quite well having to do with the Strait of Hormuz. And you have to understand, for everything they do, we do also. You know, somebody was saying about China, what about China? We hear they're spying. We spy on them too. That's the way it goes.
Why not sanction Chinese banks, though, who are doing business
Well,
with
who said
Iran?
I'm not? You said why not? I mean, who said I'm not?
President didn't announce
You don't
Exactly.
know if I'm doing it. Well, I don't have to announce everything, do I?
Who are you speaking to, sir, about what other leaders have you spoken to about this pressure campaign to get them to cut off ties with Iran?
About Iran? There's not a lot to speak to. We don't want to speak to them. We're not looking to meet or anything. The strait is open. We're taking a lot of boats. Millions and millions of barrels of oil are coming out of the strait every day. Other countries recognize that. Every once in a while they shoot some, they put some shots out. We totally cleared the strait we have the best minesweepers in the world, the underwater minesweepers. And we've totally cleared the strait of mines. And we're watching very closely through Space Force, which is one of my many things. But we're watching, we see every inch of the strait. And any boat goes in with a mine, we see it. And we take it out. We've taken out 2 of them. Thank you. So I'll be going to Texas, and we're working very hard. We want to win that race. He's running against a man who should never be. We have a very good candidate, Ken Paxton, and he's running against Telefrico, they call him, because he is a little freaky, and that's not a man that represents the value of Texas.
Dude,
So
I love
I'm
the
going
names that
to
Trump comes up with for people.
And it sticks.
It does. That's his thing now. It's going to be that's Telefrico.
help Ken Paxton, and I'm going to spend a lot of time in Texas. I have the all-time highest vote in the history of Texas also, and I'm going to spend some time there. We'll be going tonight. Some of you are going with me. Thank you very much, everybody.
Oh man. Like kindergartners. Just shoo.
Get out.
Anyway.
Shoo. Get the hell away.
Yeah, so guys, he did throw a jab saying that that they might rename the Atlantic and the Pacific if he's in the mood. He mentioned it earlier while we were talking over the press conference, but that was fun.
That was. And again, like I said, I know people are going to bash him for name, it's, it's no longer Lake Ontario and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to appreciate the level of, petty. Fine. You want to play it that way? Then we can play it that way. I can't even hate on the man for it.
No, but the point is that these are fights he didn't start.
No,
he's
finishing them.
Yeah, like I've been watching this. Look, we're going to talk about the visa appointments that are being paused. Back in 2017, 2018, when there were reports, I think that was the year when there were reports that President Trump had said that visa appointments in Nigeria would be suspended, and Nigerians were losing it and freaking out. Like I lived in Nigeria at the time, and people were losing it and saying, "Hey, this proves that this guy is racist," and so on. I sat back and I asked people. I said, "Someone tells you that that they don't want you coming to their house. Is that a problem?" don't you have your own house? You know,
right? Exactly.
That's my first question. Second question: why is he pausing these visa appointments? It's very clear that the problem is the United States consulate doesn't have any visibility into our criminal records. They don't know what's going on in our justice system other than whatever is announced on the news. So they can't even tell if someone is tied to terrorism and is sitting across from an interviewer planning to move to the United States. There's no way to tell. I said, look, even we know that we have a problem, so let's not be hypocritical about it. Someone is finally reacting to that problem that we refuse to fix, and everyone is up in arms. I talked about it while I lived in Nigeria. Now I don't live in Nigeria. My stance hasn't changed. I happen to be privileged to have been able to move to a country, Canada, and I moved at just the right time before things got really, really bad in Nigeria. I'm privileged to have done that, but that doesn't mean I don't feel bad that there are people who are stuck because of A, the incompetence of the Nigerian government and the Nigerian system, and B, that incompetence is now affecting people who shouldn't be affected by it if everything ran the way they should. Look, if my country ran the way it should, I wouldn't be leaving. I'll be just like you, sitting pretty in my own country, enjoying my country.
Exactly. And it's not somebody else's fault if you trashed your house. Trashed your house, you trashed your country. It's not somebody else's fault, and it's not their responsibility to fix it or give you a new house to live in. Okay? Yeah. America, especially the United States and stuff like that, like he offered with Nepal. It wasn't their fault that they got hit by a freaking flash flood that destroyed millions upon millions of things, and probably killed thousands of people. We don't even like those people, but we're like, hey, you guys need some help. Like, that is something, yes, okay, we'll help them out. Like, we're not even on good terms with them, but they couldn't stop that from happening. That wasn't their doing.
Yes.
But you destroyed your country, you ran it into the ground, you've got rampant enrichment going around and crime and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, no, we're not going to help you, and we're not going to take your people. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's not our responsibility. You need to work on your country. You need to fix your stuff. That's not our job to fix everything. Because then when we do start trying to fix everything, now we're the bad guys because we're stepping into everybody else's business. So take your pick. Which do you want?
True. So let's quickly talk about the visa. We'll talk about the highlights and then we'll listen to the video
that I sent. So
yeah. I'm going to play that. The State Department just paused visa appointments worldwide. Not a rumor, not a think tank memo. Every embassy and consulate in training to stop people who will live on our public benefits. Okay, to stop people who will live on our benefits. Some interviews already cancelled until after September 1st. A judge blocked the 75-county pause, so they shut the appointment window instead.
Yep.
These radical federal judges.
I don't see how they can override the freaking president.
Oh, but
these lower court judges drive me insane with that.
They have cover from the Democrats and the mainstream media. If you are being called out and shamed publicly for this insanity, they wouldn't be doing it in the first place. But the media is backing them up. I guarantee you, if a Democrat sets foot in office next time and Republican appointed judges pull this nonsense, you're going to have the mainstream media. You're going to have the mainstream media up in arms. You're going to have the Democrats saying all kinds of things, calling them names, and everybody will believe that they're the bad guys, that they're evil for doing it. What these guys are doing is rank evil, because A, they're blocking the deportation of criminals. B, they're hobbling the work a sitting president is doing on behalf of his constituents who voted him in on those exact policies.
Yeah, like that's what we voted for. And I mean, Trump didn't win by just a little bit, okay? Like, he trounced in that election. And it was because of things like that. Because that's what we wanted. That's what we need.
All right, let's have a listen to this short and then the other video.
People waiting for visas to enter the U.S. will have to wait longer. The State Department put a pause on immigrant visa appointments worldwide. Officials say that's because they are conducting in-depth training at embassies and consulates. Officers are being trained to better evaluate applicants. Leaders say they're being trained to identify those who are likely to become dependent on public services.
Yeah. So it's really simple. I don't know why. No problem. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. Okay, so the report says that the pause is because there's a training going on at the consulates to better train interviewers to pick up on people who will become a burden to the state. Now, this might be tongue-in-cheek by the administration. It might just be an excuse to just say, hey, we're pausing things. But already, I know that with the interviews, the visa interviews that my wife attended, I have never applied for a visa for an American visa. Okay, I've never applied for one. My wife has. And based on what they ask for things like bank statements to show that you have the means to take care of yourself, and proof that you have a job and so on, and proof that you have ties to your country. So, and proof that you have no criminal records. So they usually do all those things, but I don't know what extra training they need. So let's listen to this other report.
The US has paused immigrant visa appointments worldwide. Applicants with scheduled interviews are being told their appointments will be rescheduled. But there is no timeline yet for when normal scheduling will resume. So why is the US doing this? The State Department says it is conducting a global training program for consular officers. The focus is on strengthening how officers assess visa applicants, including whether someone could become a quote-unquote public charge, essentially someone likely to depend on government assistance. The department says the training will help officers apply these assessments more comprehensively and consistently. For applicants, however, that means more uncertainty and potentially longer waits.
What that sounds like to me is basically we're doing this under the guise of training, but what we're about to also do is fire a butt ton of you that aren't actually doing your jobs.
Yep.
That's what that sounds like to me right there.
Yeah, that's true. But for the people who are saying this is unfair to the people who actually should qualify, but because of these extra stringent requirements, they won't be able to get visas to the United States. Therefore, Trump is bad. Guys, let's look at what led to this. Okay, let's calm down, put away your TDS hat for a bit, okay, just for a microsecond, and let your brain cells connect. You have 5 years of illegal aliens breaking into the country. You have a very conservative estimate of 10 million illegal aliens entering the United States over a 4-year period.
So that's 10 million people that were trying to do it legally that can't come in because the others butt in line.
Yes. 10 million people who are consuming public resources and don't pay tax. Don't believe what the Democrats are saying about these people are taxpayers. You need a social security number to be able to pay taxes.
Oh, but the Biden administration gave them social security cards, social security numbers. I actually know a Venezuelan immigrant, illegal immigrant. He came over illegally. He's married to my partner's sister, on the rig, her sister. He has a social security number. He married her sister because it was given to him when he came in California.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
America, you guys have a problem.
Yup.
You have such a you have okay. The channel has been shadow banned. I was about to say something. It's like I was about to say something very offensive to the algorithm, so I'm just not going to say it. Okay, if I'm very serious about getting out of this shadow ban, I have to behave myself,
right?
Because if it's gotten to the point where people can't even find the name of the channel, it's bad. Like the channel has been shadow banned into oblivion. So, yeah. But if things have gotten this bad, and the way governments work, they don't tell you how bad things are. So what President Trump and Marco Rubio and his cabinet are telling us about how bad things are, it's 10 times worse or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're literally trying to keep the country together, because if people realize how bad things are, there are people who are going to lose it, and they will definitely be hunting for illegals themselves.
Yeah, it's gonna wind up there. They're hiding how bad it is, because honestly, like I've said it before, I don't know if I've said it on the channel or not, but it's going to lead to a legitimate civil war. And the United States and the world cannot afford for the United States to be at civil war.
You are correct. If there are people who underestimate how important a stable United States economy and government and society
military,
is,
all of it,
military,
yeah.
For the world. There are people who undervalue it because in their minds the United States is the size of their little town, because they get to hear everything that happens in the United States. They don't know how big it is. They don't know how influential it is. It influences both the Pacific and the Atlantic, the two major oceans of the world. It is oh my God. They don't realize how important it is.
And like our military, I know a lot of people want to bash on the United States' military and stuff like that. We have put a crap ton of money into it.
Yeah.
But there's a reason, because guess who's the world police? The United States. Who were they calling on when things hit the fan? The United States. So we need to stay stable.
Anyone now, if you know, I get President Trump's agitation about how the United States has been badly treated. Being a businessman and seeing how much the United States puts into global security, the United States military protects the shipping lanes so that pirates don't harass, cargo ships and oil tankers. They protect the shipping lanes. They replaced Great Britain in doing that because they saw how important those shipping lanes are. If the United States simply told the world, hey, since we do this job, the world has to pay us for doing this job. That's a huge that's a huge source of revenue for the United States. But you know what? The mainstream media and the globalists will complain, and they're like, why is the United States charging the world for doing this? It's not free. Moving
you know
those
what
ships.
Our defense budget is? You know what the United States' defense budget is as of 2025? $920 billion with a B billion dollars to operate our military. Yeah, that's 2025. And you know Trump hasn't been cutting that. We have approximately 2.12 million military personnel with active duty at about 1.35 million, and then about 770,000 reservists. And that's not counting the American citizens, who are like the largest unofficial military in the world, because we all have guns. We know how to use them, and we ain't afraid to use them.
So the military, essentially, I would say this: the United States military primarily exists to defend the rest of the world because the American citizens are doing a great job at defending the homeland, basically, because there are more guns in the hands of civilians than there are in the hands of the military and the police.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have Chris looking it up for me because he can look it up while I'm talking.
Okay.
There's a joke going out about, like, if there was an invasion on U.S. territory, how before the military even got there, you'd have rednecks and NASCAR and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Handling business before the military ever even freaking showed up. That's the United States citizens. That's the patriots that are like, oh no, this is ours. And like, there's always that there's that guy that makes the little shorts and stuff. He's a military. I don't know if he's active or a veteran at this point, but he's like, they touched my boats. I don't know if you've ever seen that guy, but he makes these hilarious little videos and stuff like that about the military and like the other countries and stuff, messing with the United States. See, he sent it. See, there you go.
Yeah, he sent it. Thanks, Chris.
He says thank you.
Let's play this. Okay, let's play this video. Yesterday we got 3 copyright claims back to back. So
yeah. Wow. Okay, hold on. While you're loading that, the United States military, their budget is 1/3 of the world's military spending. The world. We cover 1/3 of that.
Jeez.
China's the second one at $281 billion. Then Russia at 151.
There, I sent don't touch the boats one as well.
Oh, and he sent the don't touch the boats one too.
Yeah, I lined that up. I lined that up. Okay, so let's listen to this.
Apparently you've forgotten that this is the United States of America.
Hang on, the volume is low. Is that from the last video? Yes, it is.
Yes, yeah. It wasn't muted, but it was close.
Their basement that have been waiting for just such an occasion since 1775. Hopefully, in the south, there'll be a line of pickup trucks and NASCAR head down I-95. Nothing but beer cans and shotgun shells. What the hell happened here? War's over, baby!
It's true. It's true.
Hey, Jimmy's got 2 heaven roofs in that bass boat. He just ran them right on over.
Oh my God.
Rednecks. Yeah.
Oh no. Let's have a listen to this one.
We are going to attack you.
Again.
We are going to attack you with drones. That's fine. We're going to counter your drones with our technology. What? We're going to send more drones then, way more. We're going to counter your even more drones with laser beams. We're going to send our drones after your boats. You're going to send them after what? No, for the love of God, don't send them after the boats. Do not touch the United States of America's boats. We are going to attack you with drones.
You're going to what?
That's exactly because Japan touched
the last
our
time the last person who touched America's boats.
We showed them
the sun. Glassed. They got glassed.
We dropped the sun on them.
2 suns.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
I see that guy makes like little funny videos like that all the time, and they're freaking great. But yeah, it's constantly like he'll have little ones, and it's like, don't touch my boats.
I've subscribed to his channel, so yep.
He's got good ones. He's got good ones for sure.
So we promised yesterday that we were going to play some fun videos. All right. So
it's a good segue into fun videos.
Yeah. So let me remind you. Okay. So Chris Tracy and I were talking before yesterday's live stream, and we got into this conversation about how basically cultural appropriation, how Black people insert themselves into properties that were created by white people. And I said, look, all we said,
we all agree.
What if white people began to insert themselves into Black properties? I didn't say this yesterday while we were talking, but what would happen is that the Black properties would get even better. Would get way better. Like, look at Ryan Gosling in a Black Panther suit, whitewashed.
I mean, he looks good.
He looks good. Okay, he looks good. Now, the original Black Panther, okay, Chadwick Boseman, he is the Black Panther, and he, like, the greatest introduction for a Marvel Cinematic Universe hero was Civil War, when Black Panther, took on the Winter Soldier without his suit.
Yeah.
That scene was badass. Okay. I loved it. And then Marvel decided to release a series of crap movies. So, but Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, R.I.P., loved it. Now, let's play this because this is from a channel called Foxartic, Dr. Foxartic. You can head on over and subscribe to his channel. He does parody videos, and there's one that maybe we'll do later on a different stream where he parodies one of the A+ games that have essentially gone woke, and he parodies political correctness and so on inside of the game. And basically, it was reacted to by Asmongold. Maybe someday we'll look at it. So this is a preview of a potential Black Panther 3 trailer. Have a watch. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Oh, meanwhile, sorry. The following preview has been approved for lobotomized audiences by the Motion Picture Association of America. I just wanted to read that out.
Immigrants are coming to Wakanda. They are coming in hot air balloons. Future of Wakanda.
Sorry. I had to back up. To this. Where's that footage? Yeah. Okay.
The future of Wakanda is white.
It's Panther in time.
Black Panther 3, White Panther coming in.
If this ever happened, if Ryan Gosling ever got cast for Black Panther, what do you think would happen in Hollywood?
Oh, it would implode. They would implode. Because and you saw it in the whole thing of it's okay for the white race, the white culture and everything like that to be completely trampled all over and erased. But the second anybody looks at doing it towards any other race, they're racist. White people are the only ones that it's culturally acceptable to be racist towards and completely destroy everything that they have.
So let's play this game, okay? The Black social justice warriors and their woke allies have been screaming cultural appropriation about different things. So let's play this game, okay? So what has the white race, let me use these terms loosely, what has the white race culturally appropriated from Black culture?
I know they want to say it's
braiding your hair, like braiding your hair.
The funny thing is they're called Nordic braids.
Exactly.
Last I checked, the Nords weren't black.
Exactly. No. You haven't heard that. You haven't heard that yet. They have movies where there were black people. There are black Vikings.
Yeah, because that's totally a thing.
Vikings.
Because black people were up in Iceland and crap, because that's where black people were.
Yeah,
Black people traditionally in like Africa and stuff like that weren't really doing braids. They either had their heads cropped short, or they had like their traditional afros and stuff.
They did not do braids.
Yeah, braids didn't come around until Vikings and Nords and things like that.
Yeah. So even braids are not black culture.
Nope.
It's not. So the black people freak out when braids are being worn by white women. Okay, so let's just play this game. Take your braids, okay? Now let the white people take back everything that they've created.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take back like wigs and the blonde hairs and like all of those kind of things. Let's take all those back. Let's take back, a lot of the fashion industry, because a lot of those are predominantly, white people.
Yep.
Predominantly white. So we're going to take back a crap ton of fashion, a crap ton of technology, and, things like that. If every culture had to stay specific to just the things that their culture invented, you would have a completely different landscape these days.
If the white race just took back electricity, just say, look, we're taking back electricity, power.
That's ours. That's white people's. Sorry, you can't use it.
You can't use it. Oh, and the cell phones. Oh, and the satellites that you guys still use to make long distance calls.
Because guess what? If you don't have power, you weren't able to invent all of these other things. So you can't use the power to use these things that you may have, invented. But you can't use our power because that was Nikola Tesla and, Edison.
Yeah.
And those
he was
were
white.
very, very white people.
They're very white people.
Very white.
Okay? They're white
and
people.
You can't use them.
You can't use the cars.
Yeah.
You can't use the bikes.
Yeah, you can't
even use the bicycles.
Henry Ford and all of them, white.
Black people didn't even invent bicycles.
Yeah.
So the lack of awareness and the retardation. Okay, we're not getting out of this shadow banning anytime soon.
No, sorry.
The retardation on the left that continue to enable these morons to say the stupid things that they say. For example, we have Ayanna Pressley. I have to bring her up because she keeps knocking out these hits. I have to bring her up front and center because she deserves. Oh yes. Oh, I have a banger for you. Before we leave this, I have a banger for you. Netflix has announced Dolly, a new biographical film chronicling the life and career of country music legend Dolly Parton.
Okay, hold on. So, here, hold on. I just did a little search, by the way, of things that were predominantly invented or done by white or, Europeans, Northern America. You've got the telescope, microscope, calculus, the laws of motion and gravity, steam engines, the speeding jenny, railways, the electric motor, the telephone, the light bulb, the automobile, the airplane, penicillin, computer architecture, internets, microprocessors, GPS, MRIs, smartphones. The list just kind of goes on and on.
Keep going. Like,
I mean,
that is a podcast episode all by itself. Okay, so you title it "White People Didn't Create Anything," and then you just read up the laundry list of all of the things that were created.
Concrete, the mechanical clock, eyeglasses, universities for formal institutions such as college, the printing press, the modern banking system, the scientific method. Modern anatomy and medical textbooks, blood circulation discovery, reflecting telescopes, modern chemistry, steam locomotives, the turbine, photography, the electric generator, the refrigerator, the typewriter, combustion engines, diesel engines, radio, television, nuclear fission, jet engines, helicopters, transistors, computers, graphics, internet, emails, search engines, social media, and pretty much all of the modern video game systems.
Nice. No, white people didn't create anything. Black people created American culture. Yeah. We're gonna get to Ayanna Pressley, but let's watch this this beautiful rendition honoring Dolly Parton, in memory of Dolly Parton.
You know the songs, but you don't know her story.
Dolly, where are you going?
Nashville.
That's 200 miles away.
Then I better start walking.
Nashville isn't ready for a woman like you.
Then Nashville better get ready.
Do you ever feel like you don't belong in country music?
Country music belongs to everybody. After everything you've been through, who is Dolly Parton? I'm just a girl from Tennessee who never let anybody tell her who she could be.
So that is in maybe 10 years or 20 years when they're done blackwashing everything that's meaningful. They're going to start rewriting black history, black and white history, like that person who claimed that Queen Cleopatra was black.
The white people also created, democracy and republicans, the separation of powers, constitutional governments, the modern human rights frameworks, the common legal systems, international law systems, logic and rationalism with Aristotle and things like that, the science, Enlightenment philosophy, ethics and political theory, physics, chemistry, evolution, genetics, all of those. Just a few things. We also came up with anesthesia. So if you want to have any kind of surgery, you better be thanking a white man for that, because that was the U.S. and UK physicians that came up with that.
Yep.
So just a few things. Just a few things.
Just a few things. Okay, so here's Ayanna Presley. One of her.
Who you vote for determines who's elected. Who is elected determines the policies. And the policies determine who lives, who dies, who survives, who thrives.
Hang on. That's not the one. It's the same. Yeah. It's the same conference or speech, but she says this.
It is bigger than Trump. Because whenever we do the work,
Hang on.
it is bigger than Trump. Because whenever we do the work of ousting the occupant of the Oval Office, the Confederacy is still alive and well. That's all my is. White supremacy is still alive and well. Anti-blackness will still be alive and well. Xenophobia, anti-LGBTQ.
So MAGA is the Confederacy, according to her, but she doesn't realize that the people that did all the things she claims were Democrats.
Yeah.
So she's talking to complete idiots who don't read history or ignore history, and they're all going, yeah, you go, girl. Yeah, tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
white people also came up with pretty much the entire military system.
And there's one more thing they came up with, wokeness.
Unfortunately, we have to claim that one too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hope that, maybe our good contributions can
they're
kind of drowning us.
The good contributions outweigh the bad. It's just that the bad contributions are using the good contributions to amplify their insanity. So the technology that was created is being used by the bad intentions or the bad creations to spread insanity all over the world.
And the white man also came up with the Geneva Convention. Just thought you should know that.
Yes.
That was the Western nations.
Yes, being kind to combatants, but only to combatants who obey the tenets of war. Yeah. So Hamas and Al-Qaeda and Hezbollah are not enemy combatants. They are terrorists.
Yes. So they do not deserve. We need to let because Canada is the reason for a lot of the things on the Geneva Convention. Just because everybody wants to think of Canada as the nice little brother. Canada was psychotic in wars, which led to a lot of the Geneva Convention. Okay. So we just need to tell Canada, hey, we're taking you guys away from the Geneva Convention. Go handle this. We'll let you guys do whatever you want. Go have fun.
Yeah.
We just need to take the reins off and let them go have fun.
Right. I want to play this, okay? Just let me know what you think of this. A woman mocks Lindsay Clancy supporters with extreme accuracy. I don't know if you've seen this. Okay, this is on X, so let's...
Is this on? Oh, okay. Ready. Oh shit, my DoorDash is here. Yay, sushi!
Oh boy.
Oh my god, and that's literally what they're freaking doing. And it's like, I mean, I get the mental strain of being a parent. This morning, getting the kids up for the bus because Chris wasn't feeling well. Our 4-year-old, the nonverbal autistic one, had a complete and utter flipping breakdown at 6 a.m. of like throwing himself around and hitting everybody and like screaming bloody murder. And, then I had to deal with the 6-year-old. He didn't want to get up for school. So then I'm sitting there trying to be like, no, dude, get up for school and put on your dang shoes. Please, I'm trying to stop this one from beating everybody. And then, like I've got the girls like, hey, can you do my hair? Can you do this? Can I have $1 for school? And I'm like, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind. And like, I get it. It can be a lot. But like, they don't get to sit there and be like, oh, it's so hard. No, listen. There is a certain level of a point where it comes to, you chose to have kids. Like, for real.
Yep.
You chose to have kids. And in
Yep.
that Lindsay Clancy situation, you chose to have more than one. In close succession.
Exactly.
In close succession, because they were like 5, 3, and 8 months, okay?
Look at
like,
that.
They're not that far spaced.
Yeah.
And I understand not having kids that aren't far spaced, because by the time birthdays hit in our house, they'll be 12, 11, 10, 12, 11, 10, 6, and 5. So, like, they're little stair steps in our household. So, like, I get it. It's hard. But, again, I also chose to do that. Like, my husband and I chose to have children. So there is a certain level of shut up and buckle up, Buttercup, because you signed on for this ride.
Yeah. All right, so we're landing the plane. This came in just a few minutes ago. Ceuta locals are now tracking down and blocking vehicles belonging to the Red Cross NGO in order to halt their operations across the enclave. This is unprecedented. They are warning the Red Cross to leave immediately. Do you know what the Red Cross has been doing?
Giving supplies and all that stuff, I'm sure, to the poor immigrants there.
Progressive NGOs are out on the streets of Ceuta last night, handing out pepper spray to illegal immigrants so that they can use the pepper spray against local Spaniards.
Cool. So you can go get some spicy cultural enrichment. Yes.
So the NGOs are essentially providing
weapons.
Aggressive. I'm trying to frame this so that I get out of this shadow ban soon. They are trying to supply them with items of aggression, okay, against the locals. Let's just keep it that way. I really have to get out of this shadow ban.
Sorry, yeah.
So I'm trying to behave myself.
Less than polite. Less than polite means of doing what they do.
Yes. It's so the NGOs, of course, are now like being targeted, and they have been captured by ideologues, and they should be run out of Ceuta. I think this is the beginning of let's just call it this shadow ban is a beginning of movement towards changing the direction of the EU. And the globalist media is going to call this white supremacy. They're going to call it all sorts of names.
Islamophobic and all of the phobics and isms. All the phobics and isms. It's going to be all the phobics and isms.
Yeah.
because, heaven forbid people just want to actually, protect their own, keep their own, their own families and friends and neighborhoods and cities safe and keep them nice because, they've worked to keep things nice. Heaven forbid they want to actually do that.
I don't like opening my timeline because my timeline is like stepping on a minefield. I was covering this and I just scrolled down and I saw this title and I just wanted to take a look at it. I haven't watched it. It says The Inconvenient Truth, Yet They Still Deny It. Africans sold their own people as slaves and continue to do so today. White people abolished slavery. So this is a 19-second video.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just seeing that. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, no audio again. My bad.
No.
With this machine, you will finally get to connect with your ancestors.
What tribe are you from?
We are your brothers from America.
Pleasure doing business, sir. With this machine, you will find...
It's freaking facts.
Look, it is,
that's
exactly...
another thing that, white people have claimed to. We abolished slavery. Sorry.
Yes.
If you don't want to use what the white people brought and did, so I guess that means we get to go back to slavery?
Oh, yeah. No, well, you have the look, it's common sense. People who know these things were preaching to the choir. What we hope for these videos and live streams to do eventually is when someone who just needs an answer to the insanity in the world comes across the videos, when we eventually get out of this shadow ban, they will see some of this stuff and it gets them to think and figure out,
that's like,
some things.
Let me see if I can. Oh, I had it somewhere. I found it. There was one. It was a guy talking about. It was a big thing, but he was talking about the fact that he used to be like one of those full blown like Charlie Kirk haters, like he was, Charlie Kirk was a Nazi and a racist and all that kind of stuff. And it like after, his forced removal from the world, the dude was like celebrating and stuff like that. And somebody actually stopped and looked at him and goes, "Have you actually watched anything of his?" And the dude stopped and he goes, he had seen like the little shorts, the edited videos, the edited clips and things like that.
Yeah.
And he actually stopped and thought, and he goes, "Actually, no, I haven't actually watched anything of his." And then he's talking about how he went through and actually started watching Charlie Kirk's videos, like the real videos, the full videos, and actually had a complete change of heart on that because he's like, oh, wow, I really was being lied to about this. I actually did, I was brainwashed by, the little edited clips and snippets and things like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that video because I did watch it when it came out.
Yeah, it was he was like a YouTube, he had, it was like a Facebook guy or YouTube. I can't remember exactly where it was.
It was, I have it. And anyway, it's going to be hard to find. I was talking
about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's why I was looking and.
Yeah, I have this. Let me see if I can find that tribute video that I made. I made a tribute video last year. Your channel, no, not this one. Not this one. I had a video that I made. Videos, Charlie Kirk. Just type Kirk. Yeah, so I'm going to try very hard to just not be offended by how the platforms have essentially decided to suppress what we have to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to not be offended. Let's Let's see. Let me see if I covered. Oh yeah. So anyway, it's my video, so I can play it, and I'm not going to copyright strike myself. Yeah, so it's just maybe a few minutes, and I played his entire thing. So, is it this guy? So I know we're talking about same person. Is it this guy?
No, it was a little white guy. I know that guy. I've seen his too.
Yeah, okay, so I'm not going to play it if it's not this guy. If it's not this guy, I'm not going to waste your time. So, yeah, so this was my attempt at faceless videos. I liked doing this video, but it was fine. It turned out to be one of the videos that, it wasn't one of the videos that got me my first shadow ban, but
yeah.
Anywho, let's call it. It's been a great show. We've covered a live broadcast by Trump. We've talked about Spain and the situation in Ceuta. I said during the first week, I said to Chris, if this goes beyond that weekend, it's going to turn into something huge. And it's 3 weeks down the road, and it's getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
So let's keep our eyes on Ceuta. I'm not holding my breath, because what we're seeing happening in Europe is the effect of 50 years of indoctrination. I don't think Europe has the will or the spirit to push back on what's going on in Europe. I don't think it does. A lot of them are going to feel very guilted into compliance because
damn it thing.
Second World War, I'm sure she'll be back. Second World War and Nazism and everything else that's gone on in Europe that the Europeans have been shamed into believing that they're horrible people for doing. They've been shamed into compliance because of things like the Crusades. So whenever they talk about Islamophobia, the next thing some pseudo-intellectual screams is the Crusades. Meanwhile, the Crusades were instigated by the Seljuk Turks, who invaded the Holy Land, drove out the Christians, and persecuted Muslims who traded with and were in good terms with Christians. They were essentially the Al-Qaeda of the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
So these pseudo-intellectuals edit out these inconvenient truths from history in order to shame white people into compliance. And they've done a very good job with Europe, because Europe, of course, was the launch pad for the Crusades. And they've been cowed into compliance. So I don't know if Europe will be able to push back, but if they do push back, I don't think it's going to be pretty. It's just like the second story we covered with Trump, the Trump administration suspending or canceling these visa appointments. People are going to scream and say that it's racist to keep people out of your country. It's not racist to keep people out of your country when your country has been overrun by over 10 million people. Conservative numbers is 10 million. And people are claiming that it might be over 20 million people who broke into the country within 4 years. And that has to be reversed. So there's all of that happening. So let's keep our eyes on the news. But like we try to do, we try to keep it funny and lighthearted. It doesn't diminish the seriousness of these stories. It doesn't. It just helps us to, let me use a word I don't like using very much. It helps us to cope with the insanity that's going on in a good way, because we're not denying that these things are happening. We're just figuring out a healthier way of observing the lunacy and responding to it. And what's the best response? Inform yourself. Get all of the information you can, all the facts about everything. Don't believe everything you see on TV. Teach your kids common sense. And if your kids happen to go to public schools, make sure that you take time to teach them common sense, because most of it isn't being taught at school these
Pay
days.
attention to what they're being taught.
Pay attention to what they're being taught.
I go through my kids' stuff about what they're being taught and everything like that, because I remember at one point our youngest daughter, this was like kindergarten, pre-K style, like pre-K age. She came home. She had a little friend, Jamonte, I think his name was. But she came home and she's like, she starts talking about how basically she was bad because she was white, and that her and Jamonte couldn't be friends because he was black and she was white. I was like,
what?
You weren't flipping. Oh, yeah. Oh, I lost it. This started our whole battle with the school board, by the way.
What?
We had a full-blown battle with the school board. But I was like, she is freaking 5 and 6, and she is now sitting here telling me that she's bad because she's white and she can't be friends with her friend Jamonte that she's been friends with since Head Start. I was like, you have got me effed up, and I'm about to go full mama bear on this entire school board. Yeah, it was bad.
And what did they say?
We wound up wrangling in a bunch of people, but they were talking about like, oh, well, it's just the curriculum. We were talking about race and things like that. And I go, they are in kindergarten. They should be learning shapes and numbers, not racism and, white guilt and, black victimhood and stuff like that. I was like, they are freaking babies. They don't understand what you are teaching them. They're supposed to be learning colors and shapes and numbers and letters. And it turned into, because like I brought Jamonte's mom and dad into it. We got a bunch of the other kids and stuff, and it turned into a full-blown thing with the school board. And they wound up changing that curriculum out of the system because we were like, we promise you we will force special elections and replace the entire school board.
Well, I think you still have to, because
Oh, they did. They got replaced at the very next election. Because like they dropped that they dropped all of that out of the out of the subjects and stuff like that, and they pushed it. They were like, okay, well, we'll just keep it in like high school. We'll talk about like race and all of that kind of stuff. I was like, high schoolers is a little more okay. They have a little more understanding. Cool. But they wound up getting replaced at the next election cycle. A lot of them got replaced.
I don't even support that topic being taught at all.
I know that's like college.
I
like,
don't.
If you want, that's like college elective style teachings. Like if you want to learn about like race history, race theory, all of that kind of stuff, like that's fine. Do what you do. I'm not going to stop you from being educated, but let's educate people properly with the facts of the matter, and you can talk about facts. Just because you're white doesn't mean you're bad. Just because you're black doesn't mean you're a victim. Just because you're Asian doesn't automatically mean you're good at math. Okay? Like, it gets so frustrating with that. And I was like, why do we need to teach that? And the same thing with freaking gender studies. Okay? Can't we go back to the kindergarten cop days, where in the movie where he's like, boys have a penis and girls have a vagina? Why can't we just stick with that?
Yeah. We were about to close, but there's something going on with the Lindsay Clancy case.
Oh, yeah, they had the closing arguments.
Yes, they had that this morning. The jury is out deciding. It looks like it's an open and shut case. It looks like it's open and shut.
Please let her be found guilty, because she is.
Well, it's we have so this post says, just in, the jury is out in the Lindsay Clancy case. I have I have a news feed up on the screen that's showing the court the courtroom. I think they're waiting. Let's see what's being said. Let's see what's being said. It's quiet, I think. It's quiet. There's not much going on. They're waiting on the jury to be back. So it's yeah. So there's a lot of emotion. I don't know why they're blurring out the faces of the kids. In
because
this
they don't want
photo,
them to be seen as people. If I
you know,
keep
like
their faces out of your face,
yeah,
then you're not going to see them as people. I can
yeah.
dehumanize them easier.
So yeah, so it's a very sad sad story, sad situation. We talked about it last week. Jury begins deliberating whether Lindsay Clancy is criminally responsible for killing her children. Lindsay Clancy, who killed her 3 children, Cora 5, Dawson 3, and Kaylin 8 months at their Massachusetts home in January 2023, is charged with first-degree murder. Jurors are now faced with deciding whether she is criminally responsible. The two sides have presented experts with starkly contradicting testimony. What? Experts.
Because, they found experts, quote unquote, for, supporting that, oh, she didn't do it. She was mentally, incapable of understanding what she was doing and blah, blah, blah. That they found like their quote unquote experts, which is basically, Jim Bob that they paid to say what they wanted him to say.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Who gets to show up at MSNBC, for the next 2 years for saying something that they want them to say on the stand,
Yeah.
Contradicting testimony on whether Clancy was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Do you think she's guilty of first-degree murder, or will the jury find Lindsay Clancy not guilty by reason of insanity? Thoughts? Does Massachusetts have have capital punishment?
I don't know.
Yeah. So if
Probably
they
not.
do,
It's Massachusetts.
Yeah, Boston. Boston, yeah, so
that's blue territory.
Yeah.
They'd rather them waste away in a prison and be a drain on our freaking system even more, which is a whole other thing I have an issue with. Quit letting all these people sit on death row for 50 freaking years. Just axe them out, please. That is a drain on the system.
They are well, the reason why I asked that question is this: the jury is going to be leaning towards public sentiment, and if they have to drive into court every day seeing those lines of women supporting Lindsay, every day they drive past these women and they're like, this is what the whole country thinks. This is what the whole country, or this is how the whole country feels.
Which could be construed as jury tampering.
It is.
Because that's why they have, for a lot of like those really big high profile cases, that the jurors aren't allowed, like they're transported in full blacked out vans and vehicles and like all that kind of stuff. They're like on a media ban. They're not allowed to watch or look at anything. Like their phones are confiscated. Like it's a whole big deal. And so if they're not doing that with such a high profile case as this, and it really shouldn't have honestly been as high profile as it is, but they turned it into it. But since it got turned into such a high profile thing, they really should have that entire jury on like an entire media blackout and a visual blackout of everything.
Yeah, if you have to do this every day, when you're driving to court or being driven to court, it's a problem because it messes with your mind. It messes with your idea of right and wrong. If all these very innocent-looking women think that she's innocent, and the facts show that she's guilty.
Well, that and if their identities as the jury gets out, now their lives are on the line.
Yes. So
they find her guilty, and like the jury gets outed, like who they are and stuff like that, their lives, their families' lives and stuff are now on the line because let's face it, if they can forcefully, remove someone from existing, such as like Charlie Kirk, who had, security and all of these
Yeah.
extra protections and stuff like that. If they
Yeah.
can do that to somebody like him, dude, you're just a regular, civilian. Dude, you're screwed.
Well, that's it. Anyway, tomorrow I'm sure that we'll have a verdict, and it might be something to talk about tomorrow. Let me let everyone go. You guys have been amazing. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Tracy, and for the lurkers. The lurkers who show up every day. Yeah, the lurkers who show up every day and just hang out with us and don't say a word. Now,
It's okay, we love you too.
Well, we love you all. So we've had exclusive viewership on YouTube, and I want to thank every one of you. Now, you've heard us throughout the show heard me pepper in the fact that we've been suppressed by YouTube, and
Been banny banned.
yeah,
Bannied.
and I shared a post. I'm gonna just show it to you guys so that you guys kind of be in the know. I shared a post yesterday on the Discord. Someone on the Discord on YouTube posted this as a comment to the post that I made about being shadow banned. They said, I put Crossroads Live in the search engine and your channel didn't even show. And so I said, thank you for letting me know. And they responded and so on. We had a kind of back and forth after this. Well, he responded. I haven't responded back because there's, so the point is this. We're going to continue to put out content. I'm going to try to comply with basic decorum. It doesn't mean we're going to change our position on things because we don't want to come out of a shadow ban. We're going to tell the truth still. We're just going to be more creative about not using certain trigger words that trigger these kinds of reactions from the platform. I want to thank all of you who found us and stayed. If you are watching us for the first time and you enjoy the conversation, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon. But to avoid these kinds of situations in the future, because it is guaranteed that these kinds of things tend to happen to conservative creators regularly, please join the Discord so that we can have a direct connection to you. Whenever we go live, we can send out the notification to let you know that we're going live. If something happens to the channel, I mean, the shadow banning has gotten so extreme that people can't even find us when they search for us. We've been locked in the deepest, darkest dungeon at the bottom of the castle. So I am being very careful with titling the videos, with the thumbnails. I literally had a different title and thumbnail for the video. I passed it through. I had to basically pass it through a filter to tell me if this was incendiary, if it was going to make the algorithm upset. And it said these words that I used are mean. I have to simply water them down. So I did, because I don't want to just keep doing this and stay in the shadow ban. Yeah. I really want the channel to grow. I want it to become profitable. And I want it to, because when it grows, it reaches more people. If you think that what we're doing here is good and is valuable and more people should hear it, then we have to get out of the shadow ban and get out there to have more people see and hear us. So just an update to let you guys know that we're trying, and hopefully we will get out of this soon. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for your support. and I keep checking the main live stream on YouTube because sometimes some of the messages don't get through. So, okay, I've gotten all the messages. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Tracy, for hanging out. And tell Chris, thanks for the support with the videos. Chris wasn't feeling too good, so that's why he's not on the live stream today. But I'm sure when he feels better, he'll be back. All right, guys, till tomorrow, same time tomorrow. We're going to be back at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Thank you so much for having us in your homes and speaking in your ear. I appreciate being allowed to do that so much. Thank you, Tracy, for being my wingman today.
Absolutely. Had a good time. We had some laughs. I got to listen to me vent about a few things, which is always
No problem. It's always fun to be able to do that. And let's see how many copyright claims we get today.
Oh, right. It should be fun. It should be fun.
We've gotten 6 in a row. Three for the live stream before yesterday, and 3 for yesterday. It's like it's a record. For like I'm wondering, but then again, lots of strange stuff happening right now. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye,
Catch you on the
guys.
next one. Bye bye.